Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Margarita from the Centro Colombo Americana Bucaramanga. Our whole team, Elena Arenas, the cultural director, Rosabel, Diego, Juan Carlos, and myself are very honored to have here with us Olga Lucía Mutis Peralta. Olga Lucía was born in Bucaramanga, our city of parks. She was raised in a large family. Olga Lucía studied bacteriology and languages in the Pontificia Universidad Javeriana in Bogotá. She also held 2 individual and group exhibitions of oil painting and wrote columns for magazines, stories, and short stories. Olga Lucía dedicated 30 years of her life working as a translator of biomedical documents. She has a wide range of interests, including natural medicine, healing, art, oil painting, watercolors, and writing. So thank you so much, Olga Lucía, for joining us. We are very happy to have you with us today. In this case, I want to start by the very, very beginning. So let's start when you were a child. Like, what did you wanted to do when you grew up, and how those thoughts ended up being as you were living and constructing your life?
Well, first of all, let me thank you for the honor. The honor is totally mine. It has been a wonderful experience, and I really want to thank you, Elena, and the whole team of the Colombo for this opportunity of telling a little bit about myself and my books and my extensive career and life. I don't know if we will have time for the whole thing, if you want me to begin as a child, but I just want to be brief. When I was little, the only thing I wanted to be was happy. Mm-hmm. And I grew up trying to absorb as many books as I could. I read a lot, and then, as you said, I went to the university. I married while I was in the university, and then I discovered that it was not easy to work as a bacteriologist, because my husband traveled a lot, and I couldn't, assemble all the pieces and find a work that I could do, and at the same time travel. So that's when I began to study languages. First, it was German, because I wanted to be able to communicate, or at least to understand what they were speaking, because my husband went to the Deutsche Schule, and when they were together with the classmates, I couldn't understand a thing. So I studied 2 years of German, and bam, he found a job at IBM, so I had to start all over again with English this time. So I began to study English, and his mother was Italian, and we found out that we could have the citizenship, and I said, well, it's kind of embarrassing to be Italian and not to speak Italian, So I went to study, and at the same time I continued with the English. I pursued all the courses and took all the tests at the British Council until the last one was translation. And there I met a friend I wanted to translate. I didn't know anything about that, but we began to work together, and we took the test as an official translator, and all of a sudden I decided to put an ad in the Yellow Pages, and 2 weeks later I got my first client. It was from a pharmaceutical company, And I began to work with them for 10 years, first in Colombia.
Yeah.
And when they remember, no, you were too young, but there was a crisis, economic crisis in the 90s. So I decided, I don't know how, I kind of smelled that my work was going to end. And I joined the American Translators Association in 1999. And then I was translating all the time. I completed 30 years. And one day I said, well, it's not really, this is not being fun anymore, because I was translating a lot of things for patients, not biomedical texts anymore. So I said, no, it's not really what I want to do. No, I want to do more. And
how old are you? Were around this time?
how old was I?
Yeah.
This was really, let's say that it was 10 years ago. And so I kept a couple of clients, but I stopped working a lot. I just kept the clients that kept me alive, because I wanted to have fun, to learn, to be able to investigate, to challenge myself.
Yeah.
And finally, one day I said, well, no, I mean, I have to change something. I always wanted to write. And I told myself, it's about time. And then the pandemic struck. And that was perfect, because I had all the time of my life. The clients were silent as the rest of the world. And I began to write. And I found course on how to publish on Amazon. And I said, perfect, because I don't want to deal with agents and like houses that publish your books and all that. And I did it all by myself. The first book, I paid somebody to help me with the cover. And he helped me also with the title. And for the second one, I did it by myself. And I have been publishing by myself. And then when Elena invited me to this event, I translated all the books by myself and published the English version. That is my life.
So this, you were always interested in writing, but you like gave yourself chance to explore this side quite recently. And then it's very interesting that everything you did by yourself, because it's a lot of work. And also I cannot imagine like the courage like you needed to put yourself and your stories out there, because it takes a lot of courage and a lot of like believing in the things you really want to do and the things that you want to share with the world. And I think that's something like that's very, very valuable. And I'm glad you have been writing since. So we have 4 titles that have been published by now. And also last week was the book launching in the Centro Colombo Americano. So that's something huge. I want to congratulate you on that, because honestly, it's like it's really awesome when people pursue what they really want to do, and it takes a lot of things. And I am glad everything has turned out great for you. So we have this first story is The Scent of Rosemary, or This was the
Yes.
first one.
Yes.
Got it. And you seek for some help and some assistance to launch this, but then you did everything by yourself, like
Yes.
absolutely
Only,
everything.
only to make, to design the cover, but I have to say that in the Spanish version, the cover image
Yeah.
of a picture that I painted
Mm-hmm.
while I was a painter
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
previous life,
No, that's awesome. And you mentioned you're doing like watercolors now, right?
Right now, yes. I mean, it's just a progress, a small little by little.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's my cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. It's not going anywhere but right now because I was doing the last in the last 2 months, I was
Mm-hmm.
doing the translations and the covers and the publishing and all that. And also I was translating a book from Italian to Spanish.
Oh, wow.
So I haven't had any time to paint in the last 2 or 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I mean, I'm enjoying it because I was never good with the watercolors, but at this time of my life, I don't care if I'm good or not. It's just that
It's
I'm
not the
having fun.
point.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah. It's
So,
just
like to be almost 70 and to have a lot of projects and a lot
mm-hmm.
of things that I still want to do. I never thought that was going to be possible, and I am enjoying my life a lot. So
It's something huge. I mean, most people don't ever get to do what they really want and show that work to the world, like put it out there. That's like a huge step. And it's very impressive that everything you have done like by yourself, it has been like a very thoughtful process for you. Um, so thank you for sharing. How did you get involved with the writing? And what would you say is your favorite part of being a writer?
I guess that my favorite part of being a writer is, to close the computer and the next day I open the computer and I read the last page from the day before and I say,
Mhm.
oh my goodness, who wrote this? No, it's because when I begin to write, I kind of lose the account of where
Mhm.
I am, what time it is, whatever, and I don't even read again what I just wrote. So when I start fresh, a new day, I say, my goodness, it's not bad. We can do it. We can do it. It's kind of
Yeah, and how long does these processes usually last for you, or how has it been with your four published books?
it's difficult to say with the first one, with that one, Memorias con Olor a Romero.
Mhm.
I had written a couple of stories because the book can be read just by stories, like each chapter is whole in itself. So I had written 2 or 3 stories, and when I joined that course, the first day the teacher said, okay, so in 6 weeks I expect to see you publishing a book. I said, oh, what is this?
Oh my
So
God.
yeah. So the next day we had a class a week. So the whole week I began to assemble in my head what I was going to do, and I began to write the other chapters. And by the time the 6 weeks ended, I was the first one to publish, and it was ready.
Wow.
The second book, the Memorias con Olor a Lluvia, which is called The Scent of Rain. I think that the process was similar. I began by writing the first chapters are like memories from my childhood, and little by little, it kind of turns into the account of the maids that worked in my house in all those years.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky enough to be the person that heard their stories, and they shared with me their experiences,
Mm-hmm.
and I began to write them, and that was it. So I don't know, I cannot say how long did it take, but it wasn't too long. And with the other one, I don't know if you have it there, the exploring my garden.
Mm-hmm.
That one, exploring my garden, was done in a similar way. Like I began to write the stories of all the animals that went by my garden,
Mm-hmm.
and they little by little became my friends, and I gave them names, and I was sending those stories, really short stories, to my sisters, and one day one of my sisters said, "You should put them in a book." And I said, "Oh, maybe." And my great nephew was going to have his first birthday really soon, so I found a person to do all the I don't know if you saw the drawings inside, because
Mm-hmm.
this place has a lot of drawings with all the animals, and I put it together like in 2 weeks probably.
Wow.
But also, I had all the little stories were there. I just had to add a little salt and pepper here and there, and that was
Uh-huh.
it. Yeah. And then with the one about my dog, the process was similar. One day I sat down and I probably wrote it in a, that should be in English too, that one.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
trying to look for it.
yeah, I wrote it like in a week, more or less. So I guess that the secret is, the secret ingredient in the whole recipe is that I have them processing in my mind before I sit down and write. And it's so fun that when I begin to write, I don't want to stop.
Mm-hmm. And when you finish each book, um, has there been like someone special that you showed them before publishing them?
Yes, for the Spanish version, I have a friend. Her name is Maria Victoria Roa. She's from Barranquilla, a translator as myself.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a literary translator. So she helps me reviewing them. And for the English version, the first book, I paid for the translation. I didn't translate it myself. The second book, I decided to use DeepL, which is a software of translation.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine reviewed it. A friend of mine in the United States. She's Cuban, but she's bilingual, and
Mm-hmm.
she reviewed that. The other two, I used DeepL2,
Mm-hmm.
and they were so simple that I did it by myself, really.
And what would you say, what would you think makes a good story?
I don't know. I don't. I mean, I cannot talk about my books. I cannot tell you if my books are good stories or not. I think they are, and I have received a lot of good compliments. But when I read a book that is not mine, a book, to me, a good story is something that traps me in the first 20 pages. If I read 20 pages and I'm not totally sold to the story, I just leave it. I know that it is going to be really difficult for me to get into the story. Except there is one book, La Guerra y la Paz. What is the name in English? War and Peace. Tolstoy. I began that book probably, and I'm not lying, probably 6 or 7 times. And it was so difficult to understand who the characters were because all those Russian names sounded the same.
Yeah.
I put the book down. The first time I tried to read it was when I was 14. And then, like, periodically, I tried to do it and I couldn't. Finally, I got it in an audiobook and I went through and I loved it. No. But just because I didn't stop, I said, no, I have to do it. And it was
You were
fine.
committed.
It was good, but it's the only time.
But that's a great tip. I wouldn't thought about it, but yeah, if you don't get like engaged at the beginning, then it can be really difficult.
Yes.
So, what was one of the most surprising things that you have learned in creating your books?
That is easy. It's really easy to do it. Anybody can do it. No, it's all the tools are there, and there are more and more every day. It's like, the next thing I'm doing is that I'm going to do the audiobooks. No, there are a lot of tools, wonderful tools. I work with a Mac, and Mac has a software called GarageBand. Allows you to record easily. And like, for example, all those covers that I did myself.
Yeah.
There is another software. It's a free software called Canva. There are a lot of images. You can use your own image to create the cover. You can change the types and all that, the fonts. Easy. It's a matter of wanting to do it. And that is something that characterizes me, is that I have never let the technology win the race.
Yeah.
It's like, I have to go there. I have to go there. From the first time, you were probably not born when the computers, the laptops began to appear. The first thing I did was to take a programming course.
Oh.
It didn't serve because all the instructions go to, if that, do that. It didn't work. But I said, well, at least I understand. With that, I understand how this works, and it has been really fun.
That's great. So these images we're seeing, like, you create them on Canva,
The cover,
the covers.
the images, like, okay, so the scent of rosemary, the image is free on Canva.
Okay.
No? the one in Aventuras en el Jardín, I hired a person that does all those things in a, there is another, what is the name of that?
Illustrator?
No, it's another, it's a website where you can say, you know, I need these images, I need that, and there is always somebody eager to draw them for you. So I just gave her the idea. I say, I want this in each image. I want this. No, move it, do that, enlarge, change. And that was it. But right now I cannot tell you what was the name because it just escapes.
Don't
But
worry.
for example, if you see like this one, Memorias con olor a lluvia, that is another picture that I painted.
That you made.
Yeah. That's an oil that I painted long time ago.
And do you still have it? Or
yeah, I do have it.
That's awesome that you mix like all of your skills in the books.
Yeah.
So you're an artist, you're a storyteller, you edit, you translate, like,
you know,
anything.
Exactly. Right now, I made a mistake with the exploring my garden. When I uploaded, I was probably tired. I didn't realize that I didn't check the color box. And the next day, when I went to see it, I discovered that it was in black and white. And of course, it doesn't work. Yeah. So I wanted to change that, and the software didn't allow me to do it. But I discovered that there is a software or an application really in Word that let you put an image in black and white, like empty the image and leave only the borders. So that's what I'm going to do next week. When I go back to the States, I'm going to try to recover that book. And instead of having the images in black and white, what I'm going to have is images that children can color. So it's going to be a coloring book.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah,
like you're very resourceful. Like I mean, I don't even know how to use Canva properly. But I know I have to like give it a go.
Because don't take me
really
wrong.
helpful.
I don't know very well, but for what I need, I can do it.
Yeah, you make it work.
Yes. Exactly.
That's great, Olga. And would you mind telling us what your next book would be about?
Yeah, actually, I would mind because the story is long, but it's going to be about a doctor that experimented on human beings in the concentration camps.
So, because your previous books were they have a lot of autobiography on them. And this one, like, how did you got to that idea?
It's not that I got the idea. It's also from a memory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, great.
Yeah.
And what types of questions do you ask yourself whenever you're planning a new book?
I don't know. I really don't ask myself. I talk a lot to myself anyway. I talk a lot in general. So but it's not like what I want to do. No, it's like it's the same. I think it's the same process as when I am in front of a white canvas and I take the brushes and I begin to paint, is kind of takes you wherever it
You
wants
let
to
it
go.
flow, like the
Yes,
need to create.
flow.
And
That's
then,
the word, flow. Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
And is there like anything you find particularly challenging in your writing?
Well, there are a couple of things. I don't know if I am ready for to write something like fiction, totally fiction. I don't know. I haven't challenged myself, but I don't
Would
know
you
if I
like
am.
to?
I would like to. I mean, I'm not sure I am creative enough, but I want to experiment. So maybe.
Yeah,
For
that's
now,
the most important.
I have a lot of things like I would like to write about the story of my family, not only my story. So I don't know if I'm going to have time to write fiction, but for now, I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
That's the most important thing,
Yes.
to enjoy the process. Because
Yes.
it's everything about that, to enjoy the process and not because I think sometimes whenever like we get stuck in like in a loop, and that you start like doubting yourself, or like, is it good enough? Is it like, how, when you start to think about what, how it would be received, um if it's something that you should like pursue, uh that, I think it stops a lot of people from showing what they want and their work.
That's true, but that is a restraint that you put on yourself.
Yes,
That is
totally.
because you don't, in my case, I don't paint waiting for it to like to everybody, you know. I don't write for
For
I don't know,
others.
praise. I don't write for that. I
Yeah.
just write because I want to get it out. So if people don't like it, too bad. I mean, it's my best effort, no? And as long as I know that I'm doing my best, that's enough for me. I have a sister that doesn't want to read my books. That's okay. For one like her, I have a lot of people that love it. So there will always be somebody that criticizes you, somebody that thinks that what you do is garbage. So who cares?
Might as well do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we don't have all the time we want, right? So
if you want to cross the road, but keep saying somebody's going to hit me, you will never try to cross it. So
totally agree. I read a quote not long ago, that they were talking about travels, but they mentioned that it's not the same. They were talking about like travel, and that when you go to live in another country, it's not the same to never have tried and to come back as if you have never left. So I think
that's exactly the point.
Yeah.
And also I would have to quote the what is it, Japanese, that say that each trip begins with one step. That's all you need. I mean, once you take the first step, you are on the other side.
Yeah. That's very important. And do you have any suggestions that might help some of our viewers that want to start writing? to become a writer?
Yeah, I would say when I took this course on how to publish,
Mm-hmm.
I was helping. I offered my services as an editor to other
Mm-hmm.
people that were not sure about the quality of their job.
Mm-hmm.
And I discovered that a lot of people don't even know that they are making mistakes. So I was asking myself, what is happening here? And I got to the conclusion that people don't read. And if you don't read, you cannot really evaluate not even your own work. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say read, no, study, investigate, take courses, no, because courses give you structure.
Yes.
That would be it. I mean, sounds a lot, but it's fun, it's easy, it's doable.
Mm-hmm. And like you gotta just start to do it, right? Like
Absolutely.
take the leap.
Exactly. Plunge.
Yeah. And Olga, I want to end maybe if there's like a message in any of your books or something that you want to leave to the audience.
Yeah, well, the main message in both my books and both memoirs is that don't refrain from loving. Love is the only thing that will help us, especially in these difficult times we're living. No, love, forgive. I mean, if you love, everything else is easy. No, you will be able to forgive. No, you will be able to see the world with different eyes and enjoy life.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Olga, for all your kind
Thank you,
words,
Margarita.
your time, for being so open and honest about your process. I think as everyone watching, they will enjoy a lot this conversation, and we invite everyone to check Olga's books. For viewers outside Amazon, is there any other way that they can find your books?
Yeah, we are in the process. I mean, the two memoirs in Spanish are already in the Casa del Libro Total.
Mm-hmm.
And I was recording one of the books today. I will record the other one. And I guess that before the end of the year, I will upload the rest of the books in well, probably not the one with for kids,
Mm-hmm.
but the rest of the books in English as well. So they will be there free for everybody that wants to read them.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Olga, and everyone who joined us today. We will link Olga's links, important links where you can find the books in the comments. So you should go check them out. Thank you, Olga, for your time, and have a great day.
Thank you, Margarita. You too.